Hi guys, I've decided to create this tutorial where I want to show how you can create a shot visualization tool. And what we want to end up with is something looking like this. Uh, so in this case, I've just used NHL data. So in this case, I have the focus of Pittsburgh, and you can select the player, Jeff Carter in this case, and it shows all the shots while he was on the ice. So red is on ice shots against, blue is on ice shots for, and yellow means individual shots. So these two shots are taken by Jeff Carter. Uh, so this is NHL data, but the idea is that you can use this visualization tool on your own data. So if you track shots, you'll be able to build something like this. That's the goal of this tutorial. So there'll be a total of 5 videos, and this is the first one. So this is what we want to end up with. We can change things here. We can change the date. In this case, there's only one game of data, but in theory, you'd have a number of games, and you can go look at each of them. We can change the period. So this is the first period shots, third period shots, and so on. We can change the shot type, event type, so we could see there's just one goal while Jeff Carter was on the ice. We can look at shots, misses, blocks, and so on. And of course, we can change the strength state to look at power play shots. In this case, this means that Jeff Carter is on the power play, and the shorthanded team, in this case Tampa Bay, has one shot. No power play shots. Shorthanded, nothing there. Okay, so that's the idea. That's what we want to end up with. But like I said, it's not really meant for NHL data. This is more a tool you can use with your own data. If you're coaching a team, you can build a visualization tool like this. That's the idea. That's the tutorial we're going through. So in order to gather the data, you can use this amazing shot plotter by Anne. Don't want to say her last name. But this is such an amazing tool, and you can use this to track shots. So I'll just show you how it works really shortly, really quickly. So basically you just put in a player that could be number 3, the home team shoots, and it will plot the shot, and it will give you the shot location, what kind of shot it is, if it's the home team, the period, and so on. Now, in order to build our shot visualization tool, we will need not only to know who shoots the puck, but also who's on the ice when the shot is puck is shot. So in order to do that, we'll need to customize the shot plotter just a little bit. So the first thing we will add here is just a forward line. So the idea is you enter which forward line is on the ice. We would need to add a defensive pair. So you enter which D pair is on the ice. And we could add A1, meaning if there's a goal, who has the primary assist. And the same with a secondary assist. And we could add distance. So this way the shot plotter just calculates the distance to the goal. So you get a shot distance. It's very cool. And we also need to add, what do we need more? I have it right here. So we also need to add the goaltender. string state and the date. So we'll just add a goaltender here. Just in case you switch goalies along the way, it's nice to have this field as well. And I see that I had it the other way around. Then we need to add, what was it? Sorry. Oh, string state, of course. So we need to add the string state. We can do that as radio buttons. So we'll just say string, option 1, even string, option 2, power play, 3, shorthanded. You could add an empty net option or something like that, but I actually prefer not to include empty net shots, but it's up to you, of course. And finally, I also added a date, not overly important, but it's just nice to have in your data as well, just so you can quickly find out which game it is. So this is what it would look like with these changes. And one of the great things with the shot plotter is that you can actually download this setup. So you could call this shot tracking or something like that. And you could just download it, and then instead of having to change it all the time, you could just upload it each time, and it would automatically make this setup. But for now, we'll just look at it here. So in our case, we have Pittsburgh and Tampa Bay. So we'll just put them in instead of away and home team. And then the idea is you just put in the number of a player, which forward line is it, which D pair could be whatever, which goaltender, in this case 35 would be Tristan Jarry, and what is the string state. So in this case, you could just plot shots by 71, whatever, a goal by 71, which is Jeff Carter, and Tampa Bay shot. On Tampa Bay shots, I'm not interested in who shoots it, but I'm still interested in who's on the ice for Pittsburgh. So all of this is tracked from the perspective of Pittsburgh. So in an ideal world, you would also be able to track who's on the ice for Tampa Bay and who shoots the puck for Tampa Bay and so on. But that would require a lot more in terms of tracking skills. But we can put in a shot here. And then you get a data set that looks like this. And all the information we need is actually in here. So the way I recommend tracking things is to track one period at a time. So you just track a whole period, and then you'd call it something like, I don't know, Pittsburgh versus Tampa Bay, period 1. And then download the file, and then start over and do the same thing for the second period. So that's how I would do it. The thing is, in the second period, teams have switched sides, so you would track Pittsburgh shots on this side and Tampa Bay shots on the other side. But that's fine. We just need to adjust in the data, but that's in the next video. So that's pretty much how you would track shots that you could use to make this visualization. So let's just look at the kind of data you would get. So this is for the first game, the game that I'm using. You got the period, you got the team, you got the player that shoots whenever it's a Pittsburgh player, no Tampa Bay players. You got the shot type, you got the location, and you got which forward line is on the ice and which D pair is on the ice. In case it's a shorthanded situation, I just put in SH1 as the first shorthanded line, and then there's no D pair. I just consider that one full line. And then you got the assists, whenever there's a goal with an assist. And you have the goaltender, which is Tristan Jarry in this case. You got the strength state. I haven't calculated the distance, but if you track it via the shot plotter, then it would calculate the distance as well. And then I just got the date put in. So this is what the raw data, if you track it yourself, would look like. Okay, so besides from this, we need some information about what the lineups looks like. So I've also added a table here with line information. So it just shows the number of the players in this specific game, the name of the players, the date they are playing, and just put in at Tampa Bay as well, just so that you could say Pittsburgh versus Tampa Bay or whatever you wanted to put. But I'm also always using Pittsburgh as the perspective team here, so it's perfectly fine just to say at Tampa Bay. Then there's the position of the player, and finally we have all the lines here. So the first line is Soccer, Kapanen, and Rodriguez, and so on and so on and so on. So I would prefer doing this before I track the game. So if I'm a coach of a team, I would fill out these. You already know who's in the first line, who's in the second line, who's in the third line. So you can just fill out that. And then, of course, if you make line changes, you could add additional forward lines or something like that. But that's what we need. We need to know which line is on the ice, and we need to know what the line looks like. So I think that's it for this first tutorial. So see you.